Hi, dear colleagues. Welcome to this brief review of the conceptual framework behind my choice of intercultural dialogues as an approach in my methodology for developing the inclusive internationalization framework. So, first of all, and quickly, the background. Remember, this research is taking place in a non-private university in Cali, in which we find a diverse population coming from different regions of the country, from different strata with their own unique and particularities such as characteristics such as gender, ethnicity, and so forth. So we have a huge population, for example, that comes from strata one and two, and besides, I mean, obviously for all the strata, they all have their own needs and realities. So just quick four main constructs. We have internalization higher education, which you can quickly read there, inclusive internationalization framework, which is what we're trying to build. But the most important one is the cultural dialogues, and that's where I want to focus this presentation. So first, the idea of selecting the cultural dialogues as an approach is that at the end, as part of the not only from the methodology but also the spirit of the interactions and co-construction is that it will encourage critical reflection, inclusion of diverse voices in this process of the construction. So I want to just go more on this and just quickly see the objective of my research, which is developing how an inclusive framework is developed using intercultural dialogues. So first, as you said, we want stakeholders to co-create an inclusive framework. And in this case, I want to show you the main concept from the Council of Europe of intercultural dialogues. You can read it, but the most important thing here is this dialogue is understood as a process that comprises open and respectful exchange of views, where individuals from different ethnic, cultural, religious, and linguistic backgrounds and heritage interact in order to find up to find mutual understandings and in a respectful way agree or discuss issues that are very important for in a context. In this case, obviously, take into account that it has to be something where students feel free and have the ability to express oneself and be and listen to others in a really a genuine way. So, in terms of co-creation, inclusive framework, these apply to the higher education context. We can see here that applied, it leads to mutual learning, collaboration, and empowerment within participants actively co-creating and co-constructing policies. And this is pretty much the literature has shown us. So in this case, behind the ICE intercultural communication intercultural dialogues, you can see first these theoretical underpinnings, the critical social justice and transformative learning theories that empower and citizens and call for participatory actions. So you can see the perspective in terms of critical social justice is advocates for equitable participation to dismantle systematic barriers that in this case reproduce certain inequities. In the transformative learning is the intercultural dialogues is a transformative process. It's not just sharing perspectives or agreeing on some perspectives, but it's also in that process of interacting with people from different perspectives. It transforms. It can transform the way we see, perceive, or act in certain things, in certain situations, or we think about certain aspects of, in this case, of internationalization. So in this case, the idea of the framework take into account these two big concepts is it seeks to amplify marginalized voices and foster collaborative and meaningful participation among the stakeholders. So in this case, in terms of the framework, we have Lundgren advocates for ICD and intercultural communication in the intercultural dialogues as a more dynamic and inclusive approach to foster intercultural understanding. So that's very important. So it's open-ended dialogues that allow people to agree and discuss about certain issues that are important for their lives. And in that process, it actually the ICD can work as a bridge to that understand this mutual understanding so people can together create an inclusive framework. So why is important? So in this context, there's a lack of shared view of internalization that hinders in the implementation of internalization according to the literature. There's divergent stakeholders perspective that hinders shared views, and there's poor communication, especially top-down processes when in my context, there's a poor communication in terms of what is it that we're looking for with the internationalization policy. So intercultural dialogues will allow to foster shared views, will bridge stakeholders' perspectives, amplify marginalized voice, and promotes bottom-up creation. So the challenge to implement this, especially in terms of methodology, has to do that it has to be participatory, but not only that, which facilitates a bottom-up approach, but it's like the process of approaching and using this ICD as a strategy, as a participatory approach, is that it has to engage stakeholders from diverse backgrounds to really have a reflective process and transformative process where in while they when they actually find mutual understanding, but it's something that needs to transform it as well. And obviously, it also will address to empower these agents, stakeholders as agents that can transform the certain realities and change some barriers that might be affecting stakeholders participation in their. So, and I think that's it. Thank you very much.